Hello, how are you doing? This is Miho from Canada. How are you guys doing nowadays? I just came back from the shopping. I was outside waiting to get into the shop for about 15 minutes. It wasn't that bad, but it was cold today still, so it's kind of, it's kind of hard to just stand around. So I was literally stretching myself and doing some exercise standing up, and at the same time I was observing people who are on the line, and some are very indifferent, some are like nervous looking, some are like frustrated. So people have a different feel for this whole thing going on around you. And often when you feel uncomfortable or get really annoyed or worried, some sort of that feeling, it's not coming out of your inside. Often it's coming from the outside or other people who are feeling that worries or fear, anxieties, frustrations, and you will feel that wave of frustrations or anger from other people, and that's how you feel kind of uncomfortable and feel the same wave of anger or frustrations or the sadness and all that. And when I was small, a little, I didn't understand that why I was feeling bad things, because as a child you just give yourself fully, you totally open yourself to your parents, and especially when the relationship is close, for instance your own parents or your spouse, partner, your child, children, or other family members, the bond is so tight, so you feel it more. And because the relationship is so tight, you love them. You love them so much, even though the relationship seems to be really bad or it could be really great, but you have this love inside of you. That's why you're in a really close relationship to start with, so that the emotions come out much harder than, say, lining up outside of the grocery shop and looking at people who are on the line, right? So whatever they do might not bother you as much as, for instance, your parents did something to you, or your child, your spouse did something to you, which bothers you so much, because you have this literally it's tight bond, and you have this love, right? Close feeling for them. And when the feelings is good, that's awesome. Like you can literally build the confidence on the solid love and care from, say, parents, and you can just move on with your own life. But often, including myself, if the relationship was not good, your confidence or your self-worth is built on this unstable base. And because the communication is bad, because of the trust or those feelings or exchange, those important matters are not solid. So you're always building something on top of unstable base. So no matter what you do, because of the base is not stabilized, so you always kind of feel like falling all the time. That's what I felt. But as a child, you have no idea of those, and you try to please your parents because your unconditional love is given to them. They're the first one that you encounter in your life. So you trust them unconditionally. You put the love unconditionally. And in return, if you get hurt or damaged in a way because the verbal abuse or the way they treat you, it really hurt and it really damage your mind, your soul, your heart, and it takes a lot to recover or repair. That's what you think, right? And then often you start to blame them or blame others, blame the environment you're in. You start looking for something to blame because you are the one who's so how do I say, you're the one who are in like a bad situation. You didn't choose to be there. You think you deserve more or deserve better, but you're in this role of being treated badly. And then you kind of define yourself to be that way. You almost like make a story of your life according to what others people say or what the circumstances around you. And you feel out of place, and you just don't know who you really are, and you kind of go along with what the parents say or what the parents think this is the best for you, even though you think it's not right for you or not for you, but you just kind of go along because maybe you don't want to get into arguments, or you just want to avoid the conflicts, or you just want to please them, or you just didn't want to get in trouble or some sort of reasons, right? And then you start to build the character that it's not you at all, and you have this gap in your heart that the feelings are not genuine, and you're always pretending, and you're always kind of squeezing something out of you that's not yours, or uncomfortable, like really hurtful feelings, right? You can go on with this for a certain length of the time, which I did for a longest time, but it really kills your soul, because you're not really living who you really are, and it really affects a lot of areas of your life, and the judgments and the things you do, and your mental state and health. And when you think about why you feel uncomfortable or anger or worrisome, or it's just a pure uncomfortableness, often it's not coming from you. You're receiving it from other people. For instance, like for myself, like I was getting a lot of negative feel or the vibe from my parents because they're not fulfilled. They're frustrated in their own life, and they're angry. They're like worried constantly, and they just have a lot of fears, and all those unfulfilled, unstable feelings that they have. As a child, we are so close in bonding, right? So that you feel all the waves of that frustrations and angers and worries. But it's not coming out of you, but you feel it as if it's all yours as well. So especially the relationship is close, like a family member, like your parents, your child, your spouse or boyfriends, and when a relationship is really close, no matter what kind of relationship you're in, the love is in there. That's why you're in a close relationship. And because of the relationship so close, you're really, really tight. So you feel a lot more than, for instance, say people who are lining up in front of the stores waiting to get into the grocery shop, right? So the family member is a very tough one to control the feeling because you're so tight, you're so connected. It doesn't matter where you are because of this connection. For instance, my parents and me, there's ocean in between, the Pacific Ocean. We are in a different continent, but you feel exactly the same way as if you're close in distance. You feel the most when you're face to face, but you have that connection no matter where you are. That's how much we are, I would say, powerful to connect without being physically connected. So that you have that constantly in your mind, and when you think about somebody, you literally instantly connect. You try it. When you think somebody, your friends or your parents or your spouse, instantly you connect with that person. That's how strong our senses are. So for the families, it's tough one because the connection is tighter than, say, people just walking on the street. So you feel the emotions more. If that is a negative one, it's really annoying. It's really bad. It's really affects your life or personality, which that's how I lost my confidence, or I put myself down so much. I had no self-worth and all that, right? And you live your life thinking that's you, but it's not that. So first you need to recognize that difference, like what's coming out of you and what's coming from other people. And you feel the wave of that frustration, for instance, you need to cut that feel because it's not coming out of you, that's theirs. But because of such a closeness, it's sometimes, or a lot of the time, it's hard to find a distinction in between. And because of the family, they feel so comfortable to just let them out, let them have it, right? So that's a part of it too. They might hold it back when they talk to, say, strangers on the street, but when they do talk to a family member, they just let it out, all the frustrations and worries and guilt, Anyway, so what I mean by cutting is that the relationship is so tight, so your energy, your connection is really tight, so you feel that wave of frustration, for instance, or worries, and you need to recognize that vibe or energy, if I say that way, or that it could say the frequency too, but that energy, it's not coming out of you, right? So that whatever it's coming from outside, you just recognize, and it's not yours, so you just cut it. It's not yours, right? And you should do often when that weird feeling or uncomfortable and a worrisome feeling comes up. Every time it comes up, you do that because you feel it. You feel that worrisome or bad feeling because you have that feel inside of you too, so you kind of attach to that as well. So as soon as you feel the others' emotions, you cut it. And it's not cutting the relationship like totally. That's too way harsh. And you might think about doing that. I was in there too, because I just couldn't stand it anymore. I just wanted to cut the relationship, or even my parents threatened to cut the relationship. But that is too harsh to do it. And because of the close relationship, it becomes your like a heaviness feeling that will reside with you, and it just sits there heavily. So instead, you just cut the feeling and energy, and you just separate you from their feelings. And then you think it's not gonna do anything different, but you will see over the time, when you do it over and over, the things start to really calm down, because you're not reacting it right away. So your state of mind is peaceful and harmonized more and better, and you can focus more into what you really want to put your energy on, not being bothered by all the waves of other people's emotions. And you can focus your energy into something that you really want to spend on. Maybe you wanted to do new cookings or recipes, or you want to go out or get fit, or spend more time with your kids, or think about the future plan, maybe self-development. You want to invest your time to learn something, or pick up the book, just to relax, do the face mask, or you just eat a favorite foods. It's just something that you feel really comfortable with, and it makes you feel good, instead of dealing with all the vibe of bad feelings. So when you cut that feeling, you literally can focus on the things you really, really want. And you do that all the time. For instance, when you talk to friends and eating good food or having good time, you're really focused and you really enjoy the company. But as soon as you start thinking about your family member who gives you bad feelings, you instantly connect and you feel really, really bad. So it's really strong. Like we are really strong. The power that we have, that we can instantly connect without being there physically. So that's what I mean by energy, and we have that inside. So you recognize that feeling, and just every time it comes up, you cut it and just separate yourself from their feelings. Yeah, and then you can focus your energy into something that you really, really enjoy, or grow yourself, or anything that's really makes you feel comfortable. And learning is another thing that makes you feel really worthy and a confidence. Anything doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be going into the Olympic kind of huge things. Anything small that makes you feel like I've done it, I've did it. I think as a human, we enjoy this process from starting 0 to say finish to 10. And because you don't jump from 0 to 10, you need to take a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each stage has its own agenda, or the feelings or the experience you will face, and that's the process that makes you grow. It makes you think, and it makes you be a better person, a better version of you. I think as a human, we really, really need this process. Like when you think about something or achieve something, and you start from 0, in the next moment you're 10, it's like you haven't done much. Like you're here, and now what, right? Like for instance, myself, I decided to run the marathon. At first, it was impossible. So starting from zero, if I could just finish the marathon 42.2 kilometers, done, like what? Oh, okay, so what's next? But it doesn't happen like that on this earth. You need to really build up your endurance, and you need to train yourself. It takes time, and a lot of I don't want to go out today, or it's a great feeling, or it's a really bad run, or you learn so many things in a process. And when you finally done it, you feel like, wow, I've done something that I never done before. So I think that accomplishment feeling, it really makes you grow and give you a good confidence, because something you never done it before, but now you've done it. That makes you feel really good and confidence. So find something that you never done before, and put yourself, do something that really stimulates your brain, stimulates your life, and evolves people who are in the same mindset. So it really, as a whole, makes your life much better, instead of just keep getting all those negative feelings or worrisome, not knowing how to control it or cut it. It really evolves into your life and affects all areas of your life. So just recognize where that feeling is coming from, and you cut it. Separate yourself from theirs. And you still respect who they are, because they have their own life timeline to learn and experience their things. But you just don't need to feel, their feeling into your life. So every time you feel that uncomfortableness or worrisome or like just anxiety, you just think where it's coming from, and often it's from others, right? So you just cut it. Yeah, when you think about it, it's so annoying, right? Like it's not yours, it's just theirs, right? So you just cut it, and you go on with your life that you really wanted to focus on, and pour the energy into it. Okay, so have a great day, and stay healthy.